Welcome to the Val Valley Model Railroad Tour 2019. Episodes. Episode 1, Intro, followed by the Pearson City and Pierson Yard. In Episode 2, we'll look at Pearson Diesel Shops, the Pearson Roundhouse. Then, moving along to Episode 3, we'll be visiting the Val Valleys Valley and Stillwater's Maintenance of Way Yard. Then in Episode 4, we'll make it to Stillwater and on to Wallace Junction. Then, in Episode 5, we'll be traveling up the branch line, and we'll stop at Billings, then Sycamoose. And then come Episode 6, we'll be taking a look at the town of Wilson, and finally, the end of the branch line, the coal fields of Sutton. And then our last episode is titled Electric, where I will discuss all kinds of electrical systems that we're using on the layout that may be interesting, from the signal systems to the crossing gates to why I wired my layout as if it was a DC layout, even though I knew I was going to make it DCC. This is episode number 2. Be sure to see any previous episodes and their accompanying parts to help better acquaint yourself with this video series. Each episode will cover 2 parts, or sections, of the model railroad. First, we will see the railroad from the point of view of the rail fan. We'll watch and see some rail traffic. Then we'll step back and see the railroad from the modeler's perspective, discussing key features and points along the way. In this video, we will visit the Pearson Diesel Shops and have a look around. And then it'll be off to the Pearson Roundhouse and steam facilities. And lastly, we'll have a look at my power movement board as we try to understand and make sense of the mayhem. Welcome back to the Val Valley Model Railroad, a fictitious subdivision of the Norfolk Southern. This is episode number 2, the Pearson Shops, consisting on the left, on the lower level, you will see the diesel shop, and on the right, tucked under the far corner there, you can see the roundhouse and the turntable. So we're going to take a quick look at some of the facilities here and get to know them. Looking at the front of the Pearson Shops, it is comprised of 2 of the Walters car shop kits put together. Now looking at the front of the diesel shop, we can see that we have 3 tracks that run from the turntable completely through the shop and run out the back side. The shop can hold about 13 locomotives. Each track in the shop is electrically wired as a block so that strings of locomotives can be shut down so they don't idle all the time. Looking at the back side of the facility, we can see that some of the locomotives needing repair have been lined up here, and some maintenance away equipment lurking in the background. Those are some of the new Phantom Hobbies time machines there. Now we'll take a look at the inside at the scratch-built interior.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
And now for the announcement you've all been waiting for. A couple videos back, we promised that we would announce the Phantom contest. Well, Phantom Hobbies is giving away a 6-piece HO scale tie gang. This tie gang consists of 2 tampers, 2 tie cranes, and 2 tie extractors. These models are already painted, assembled. You can win by going to www.a51x.com/shop. Click on the Enter button. All you have to do is subscribe to the Phantom newsletter. The Phantom Tie Gang contest has 3 prizes: a first place, a second place, and a third place. First place is a 6-piece tie gang set. Second place, 2 tie cranes. And third place is a rail tracks. Drawing date is 7/26. That's this coming Friday. See our website, www.a-51x.com/shop for more rules and regulations. And good luck! On from the diesel shop, we're going to look at our steam facilities next. Just across from the diesel facilities, we have a water tank and a coal tipple. They don't see a lot of use these days, except for excursion service. A lot of the old Val Valley flavoring from that old railroad that was just absorbed by the Norfolk Southern is still here. Time will tell how long they weather and stay. Moving on to the turntable. The turntable is the Walters non-DCC turntable. It's fully controlled by a little panel mounted on the side of the layout that controls left or right. I've really come to enjoy this turntable, but I will tell those of you who have one or are thinking about buying them, they don't like dirt and they are a tad bit fussy. If you go to pull the turntable out, which you can remove it for cleaning, the one thing you don't want to do is turn any of the mechanisms underneath it. That will actually throw off your tracks and you'll end up having to reprogram it. If you're having trouble programming your early model Walters turntable, take a look at our channel and you'll find a video that I made quite a while ago on how to program it. So the roundhouse itself is yet another Walters kit. Actually, it's 2 of them. See, we have an uneven piece of roof there. I left my roof sections not glued down so that if it ever came out to it, I could open them up to get inside, do interior work, or so forth. So every now and then they get misaligned, like that one. Whoop. Now it's really misaligned. Anyway, so that's actually 2 kits put together. They come in kits of 3, and this particular one had 1 stall that was long. So I bought the 2 kits, so now I have 2 long stalls, and the rest are kind of short. There are 6 tracks in the roundhouse, and 1 track beside it, which have our Jeeps lounging in the sun there. Just like the diesel facility, each track is controlled by a toggle switch, just like a DC block, so you can turn engines on and off. So let's go take a quick spin on the turntable and see what it looks like from the turntable's point of view. Alright, we're going to deviate from the diesel and the steam facilities for just a moment. Thought this would be a good time. I want to show you, this is my power movement panel. We'll take a real close look at this guy. I thought this would be worth sharing. When I first started building the layout, I ran into a problem real quick. What locomotive was on what track and what decoder number? Because sometimes you get locomotives in pairs, so now they're in a constant with a constant number, and then, or you have to peer through the window and try and see that number, and what, there's two other locomotives in the way and you can't see it. So that's what I made. This is a dry erase board, and I used different tapes that I got from Walmart. This is actually pinstriping tape here. And what these are little magnets. They're little magnets I get from Walmart. They come in a block of like 6 or so, and I cut them up to size, and I stick papers on it. Now, the color coding here, pink represents a consist number or locomotive. So this is like consist 9 is sitting here. This is 11. And if you look down here, this shows me what's in each consist. Like for instance, I was going to do 13, but he's out on the road. Let's do number 15 would be nice. We'll do number 18. He's sitting out here. This is actually where the engine shed would be, for the diesel shop. But we're looking up number 18, so we look here, and we can see the engine number 301, or 3101, which is a southern unit, and 3249, another southern unit there, in that consist for 18. And then when I move my consist around, we'll say if it goes up, it's sitting down in the yard, I put it over here. If it goes out on the main, I usually put them down here so I know it's out running around. And this is the ready track over here for our yard. It's an easy way to keep track of your locomotives. Now, some you'll see there's just a locomotive number here, 2212NS. This is my yard engine for the lower yard. Since he's got a dummy, but he doesn't really have two powered engines, so I just stuck the number up here. I'm going to add another SW1500 to him eventually, so he'll drop down and I'll pull one of these tags out. Like the steam engine, the 1218 is here, the 611, the DNRG, awkward. The DNRG Challenger here, and our Amtrak engines, which are number 15, and each stall is labeled as it would be on the roundhouse. These are some engines that got sold or have sent. See, I think most of those got sold. Some of them got scrapped. You know, that happens. So I'll have to renumber their decals. But this has been very helpful because you go to look through a roundhouse window or a diesel facility and, what's the cab number on that over there? Or, man, I forgot what consist it was in. It's just a small magnetic dry erase board. I could actually get dry erase markers. There were two hanging here. I keep bumping them off, so I made them hide and go away. But it helps you kind of keep track of the power that you have.